On the day I was supposed to get engaged to my childhood sweetheart, he showed up late. By the time Taylor rushed in, I had already lifted the microphone and announced to the guests, "The engagement is off." He assumed there had to be a reason and actually blamed me for not being understanding. Avery skipped school, and the teacher called her guardian. I didn't miss this on purpose. "Quinn, you're going to embarrass both families over a tiny tantrum," he said. I answered him with a smile. "You're right. I'm a spoiled heiress who can't stand the smallest slight." On an important day, Taylor insisted on humiliating me. Avery seized the moment to sneer. "Ha, the empty-headed vase I always said you were. You don't deserve my Uncle Taylor at all." I couldn't be bothered to trade barbs. I set the mic down and walked away. Taylor didn't follow. Calmly, he told the crowd, "Sorry everyone. His being willful, but the Cameron merger will happen. We'll see you all at the wedding." A month later, when I reappeared with a flash marriage husband on my arm, Taylor lost his composure on the spot. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and comment where you're listening from. When I vanished for 3 days, Taylor went to the office as usual. Between meetings, he tapped out a WhatsApp message. "Stop the drama and come home. As Riley's heir and my fiancé, you've shamed the group enough already." A red exclamation mark popped up. Message failed. Raging in his anger, Taylor scrolled to my cell number. He's never had much patience with me. When the call wouldn't connect, he hurled the phone on the desk. Disgusted as he was, he still lifted the landline and told his assistant Lisa, "Pick a gift for him." After the meeting with Taylor this evening, I had the driver take me straight to the Riley estate. Arrangements made. Taylor forced himself back to his documents, not giving the matter another thought. He didn't expect to find the house empty. He'd only meant to keep up appearances. When the butler said I hadn't returned, he wouldn't even step inside. Face dark, he ordered the driver to turn around. All of it was exactly what I'd predicted. The Rileys and Camerons are old friends. Taylor and I were pledged to each other before birth. Our parents adore the match and care nothing for what we want. I'm tired of Taylor's stone-faced CEO act. He hates my spoiled heiress swagger. 4 years I've tried to cut ties, but Mom and Dad keep throwing us together. From kindergarten onward, Taylor and I shared a classroom. In college, he chose philosophy. I chose finance. 2 buildings apart at last. Childhood sweethearts, we finally agreed on something. Out of sight, out of mind. Even that wasn't enough. After graduation, the engagement caught up with me. The Camerons wanted Taylor at the conglomerate's helm. The Rileys needed capital to go public. The convenient solution was to fast-track our marriage. We couldn't stand each other, but for profit we were willing to play our parts. What happened at the engagement party pushed me past bearing. Avery lit the fuse. 3 years ago, the Camerons sponsored an orphan girl. After Avery's parents died in a crash, she was adopted into the Cameron family. The child is timid with everyone except Taylor, the uncle by paperwork alone, whom she clings to. That made the friction between Taylor and me even worse. At a fundraising gala, Taylor and I courted investors. He pitched the project. I worked the room. The plan was running smoothly until Taylor abandoned our last big backer mid-speech, leaving me alone to salvage the moment. Without the deck, I could only toast, apologize, and promise anything. But the investor still blacklisted Cameron Company. The loss was huge. I stormed to the Cameron mansion to confront Taylor and found him driving Avery home, draping his tuxedo over her shoulders. Apparently, Avery had turned her phone off and posted from the beach. "If I jump into the sea, will I finally see Mommy?" She wasn't even damp. Yet someone lost his head over her. That was the first time I saw Taylor, the ironclad dealmaker, lose control. Avery was 12 then. Whenever our eyes met, she'd shrink behind Taylor. But I read the taunt in her gaze. From day one, whatever I tried, Avery refused to like me. Older now, emboldened by Taylor's shield, she doesn't bother to hide her hatred. I warned them. The girl's intentions are twisted. Taylor refused to listen. He only loathed me more. No one knows Taylor better than I do. He's a cold calculator. Sentiment barely registers. The Rileys groomed me to put Taylor first. To polish me, I took 2 hours of flower arranging daily, plus piano, polo, golf, and weekend pastry classes so I could bake him desserts, though he never tastes them just to keep up the image of the perfect fiancé. Society jokes call me the ideal helpmate. After Avery arrived and Taylor began botching deals, I cleaned up every mess. I could live with a loveless merger. But once Taylor turned unreliable, he couldn't even manage the role of a tolerable partner. 3. A week. 100 missed calls. One side fuming, the other sunbathing. On a resort island, gorgeous people posed along the sand. My best friend Bella carried over a fruit cocktail. Quinn, you've really done it this time. Hard to walk back. I lay on a chaise and with sunglasses on, my voice lazy with honesty, said, calling off the engagement wasn't a stunt. I truly don't want to marry Taylor. The minute I left the ballroom, I texted Bella, booked the first flight out, and escaped to this slice of paradise. Bella sighed, half regretful. You two looked like the perfect power match. Looks, money, pedigree. Shame his character's trash. I pulled off my sunglasses and knocked back a gulp of the crimson and cobalt cocktail. Icy, clawing and burning all at once. It was awful. Just like Taylor. Decent packaging, mediocre contents. Regret my ass. A lousy character is a deal breaker. Even if I don't care about myself, I have to protect the company. A three-legged toad is rare. A hot guy with two legs is everywhere. Do I, Quinn? Really worry I won't find someone better looking than Taylor? Bella flashed a brilliant grin and clinked her glass against mine. Love the attitude. Tonight, I'll park a gorgeous guy in your room. Guaranteed to outclass Taylor everywhere that counts. I burst out laughing and couldn't resist teasing her. Spare me. With Rowan hovering over you like a guard dog. If you can even introduce me to a cute stranger, I'll reimburse every cent of this trip. Bella only smiled, saying nothing, so I assumed she was joking. But half an hour later, I swiped my key card, stepped into the suite, flicked on the light, and looked straight into a pair of soulful eyes so deep they could look romantic even at a stray dog. Unlike me, frozen in shock, the guy stayed perfectly calm, offering a flawless, heart-stopping smile. Casey, are you satisfied with me? He had the face, the body, and just to be unfair, a voice like velvet. Definitely younger than Taylor. Before I could react, he leaned closer, lashes lowered, warm breath brushing my skin. My brain short-circuited. I cursed my runaway mouth. The air was thick with tension. At the last second, I shoved him away, sanity hanging by a thread. What's your name? And medically speaking, are you clean? His gaze darkened. I'm Morgan, Rowan's cousin. I blinked. Bella had never mentioned a cousin this young. When he stayed silent, my cheeks blazed. I just asked him the most blunt health question imaginable. I looked away, mortified. Ahem. Sorry, Rowan. My mistake. Morgan's smile vanished. His voice dropped, husky and hungry. Quinn, don't you remember me? I studied that handsome face. Nothing. Morgan gave a helpless shake of his head and began unbuttoning his shirt. I flinched, but he only meant to show me something. Relax, Casey. Look, my birthmark. My eyes locked on the red diamond-shaped mark on his left shoulder. Memory flooded back. Senior year. A middle schooler cornered by bullies demanding his lunch money. I'd ordered my driver to stop and chase them off. As I left, I noticed his torn uniform and that vivid birthmark. Never imagined that kid was Morgan. Seeing me stunned, Morgan said, Casey, you remember the year I was in 8th grade? I cut in. I remember. Wow, little bro. You sure grew up gorgeous. He looked exasperated. Quinn, I'm only 2 years younger. Hardly a kid. Embarrassed, I fudged. By seniority, Bella and Rowan are my year. You're basically my half-little brother. Morgan's eyes narrowed, glinting. Well then, big sis. You asked 2 questions. Here's the second answer. I'm perfectly healthy. No bad habits. No diseases. Doubt me and I'll email you this year's physical. My face exploded crimson. I nearly choked on my own spit. This little brother was way wilder than I'd bargained for. I'd only been running my mouth. Besides, Morgan was Rowan's family. I'd have to be insane to pounce on a cousin I'd never met. Bella had royally set me up. I forced a smile. Look, Morgan, Bella's all jokes. Whatever she told you, forget tonight ever happened. He chuckled softly, still smoldering. The Rivera genes were dangerous. Foxes, everyone. Rowan already had killer bedroom eyes, and Morgan's lazy smile looked positively lovesick. A sudden ringtone saved me. I exhaled until I heard Taylor's voice and my stomach dropped. Quinn, you're an adult well past childish disappearing acts. The press is hinting the Cameron alliance is shaky. I don't care where you are tonight. The Xingjing Group's charity gala is at Hotel 1, and you will show. Test my patience and you'll regret it. Before he finished, a girl's voice piped up. Uncle Taylor, I'm coming too. Which gown should I wear? Uncle Taylor, the sapphire tux brings out your eyes. My dress has blue crystals. Perfect match. I hung up before Avery could finish her one-woman show. Little girl tricks. Child's play. I didn't care about Taylor. Certainly wouldn't waste jealousy on him. I watched this melodrama since childhood. My mother always knew about Dad's mistresses, yet kept one eye closed. To the world, my parents were the perfect couple. No one tallies the PR bills. Dynastic marriages run on mutual benefit, not affection. I used to play the game for Taylor, even clawed at Avery, but I'm done pretending. Minutes later, the same number flashed again. 5. I moved to reject the call, but Morgan beat me to it. Avery's smug voice poured through. Quinn, I said all that so you'd hear. While you were gone, Uncle Taylor never mentioned your name. I lunged for the phone. Morgan held it above my head and answered coolly. Fantastic news, little green tea. Keep Taylor on a tight leash. Don't let him crash my night with my sister. Avery went dead silent, stunned. I saw red, pinched the soft flesh of Morgan's waist, and finally reclaimed my phone. Morgan, what the hell do you think you're doing? Do you have any idea how much trouble the stunt you just pulled will bring down on me? Morgan grimaced in pain, bent over, voice dropping to a whine. Sis, I'm sorry. Don't be mad. I just can't stand watching smug little parasites win. I answered coldly. What you did is no different from her. Equally childish and ridiculous. His clear eyes filled with mist, hurt coloring every word. I was out of line. I apologize. I delivered my verdict. Get out of my room. I don't have time to play house. Defrost caught him off guard. Quinn, don't be angry. I messed up. I cut off the useless apology. Leave. Whatever history you think we share. Anyone who meddles in my life without permission strikes me as breathtakingly ill-bred. He froze, loneliness eclipsing his face. He bowed deeply. I'm sorry. Then he turned to go. I stopped him abruptly. Leave the key card. Eyes dull with defeat, he set the card on the table and murmured, My apologies, before the door clicked shut behind him. A draft from the corridor slipped in, raising goosebumps on my arms. An unfamiliar number flashed on my phone. I answered on speaker, expecting exactly the irate voice that thundered through. Taylor, ready for war. Quinn, I will never marry a woman who behaves like trash before the wedding. Fly home immediately. If I have to come over and catch your sleeves myself, Riley, no one will survive the headlines. He spat the words through clenched teeth. I stayed unruffled. Taylor, do you not understand plain English? A stunned beat of silence. What? You're the one flouting every standard of decency, and you dare speak to me like that? I smiled without warmth. I already told you the engagement is over. We are nothing to each other. You have zero say in my life. Don't call again. I hung up without hesitation. The landscape looked exactly as I'd foreseen. For years, Taylor had used the betrothal to leash me, treating my forbearance as his birthright. But I'd quit the role of beautiful cleanup crew. The sums he'd lost because of Avery back then dwarfed anything on the table now. A public breakup would dent sterling stock, sure. Yet bankruptcy wasn't on the horizon. Only a wobble in quarterly dividends. My parents were seasoned merchants. A little volatility wouldn't kill them. 6. I slept like the dead. Morning door chimes dragged me from bed. I opened to Morgan balancing a breakfast tray. His smile was impeccable. Good morning, Casey. Bella's cousin told me, you love pork floss cupcakes. I bake a decent batch. Care to try? I stared flatly. Did last night's sermon go in one ear and out the other? His gaze dimmed. At least let me atone. If you sentence me without parole, I'll regret it the rest of my life. I gave a thin laugh. Emotional blackmail. Save it. I'll only leave the tray. He insisted. I slammed the door. Minutes later my phone rang. Bella, Quinn, your parents just grilled me. What now? I'll handle it. I opened the file she'd forwarded. Photos of last night's charity gala where Taylor and Avery arrived together. The girl had shed her college awkwardness. Polished and dazzling, she matched Taylor's ensemble, their laughter candid under chandeliers. The images yanked me back to Avery's 18th birthday, the night Taylor had thrown punches over an insult directed at her. Heir to the camera and fortune, impeccably schooled, he still lost control, then swallowed a 7-figure contract cancellation to shield her reputation. I'd been left to plaster over the mess, drinking until my stomach lining surrendered while he escorted Avery down Madison Avenue. His dereliction had cracked the door through which I finally walked into company strategy. Thinking about it, my lips curved in a private smile. Dressed, I stepped into the corridor. Morgan hadn't budged. "Casey, can we talk?" I paused, calculations clicking. The cafe downstairs. 7. Across the table he fidgeted like a schoolboy. "If you expect another apology, skip it." I unlocked my phone and swiped to River Group's overseas division. "This belongs to your family, right?" He nodded. "My cousin runs domestic. My sister Luna overseas." Straight to the point. "Arrange a meeting with Luna. You do that and your trespass is forgiven." Eunice flickered. Predictable. I'd already done my homework. River's foundation was domestic. Foreign profits had been sleepy dividends until Luna took the helm 2 years ago. She corralled major shareholders, steered a new strategy, spiked earnings and centralized power. In short, the offshore entity now carried only one surname, River. Luna was a shark in stilettos. Morgan, her polar opposite, loathed boardrooms. After middle school, he'd fled abroad to study sculpture. His return trip was mostly a dodge from Luna's recruiting net. My play hinged on cracking the overseas market. Without Cameron capital, Sterling could still list, giving parents and directors zero leverage to resurrect my betrothal. I told him, "You only need to give me your sister's private email. I'll talk to her myself." Morgan agreed at once. "All right." While we were speaking, my phone rang. "Avery Quinn, how can you be so shameless? Adrian is running himself ragged over your mess. He's got stomach cramps and a high fever. Where are you?" I found it ridiculous. If he's sick, he should go to a hospital. I'm not a doctor. What good would I do? Avery, righteous as ever, ordered me around. "I don't drive. Come pick Uncle Adrian up and take him to the hospital." My voice was ice cold. "Then let him die." Just as I was about to hang up, Taylor finally dropped the act. "Quinn, are you really going to turn on me?" I had no patience for his hysteria, but I never expected that when the video call connected, my parents would be there too. My mother stared at me with a frigid glare. "Quinn, don't think hiding with Bella means I can't find you. A few days of fun is one thing, but when the company is involved, there's no room for your theatrics." My father chimed in as well. "The engagement is non-negotiable. Adrian was late that day because he had no choice. Don't push the advantage and make us a laughingstock." The Cameron side were smiling tigers, urging Taylor to coax me while every word probed whether I might cuckold their heir before the wedding. I showed no mercy. "Taylor, your little tricks are ugly. Instead of wasting time on this pity play, accept reality. I will not marry you. And as of today, Sterling Group terminates all cooperation with Cameron." Before my parents could object, I cut them off. I have every client file. Those investors and partners only recognize me. If you don't want profits to nosedive, stay out of my way. Taylor was livid. "Quinn, do you even hear yourself?" Cameron rises and falls together. "What the hell are you throwing a tantrum over? Because I was 30 minutes late to the engagement?" I told him indifferently. "I simply can't stand the sight of Avery. If you kick her out of the Cameron family, I might consider coming back to finish the ceremony." At that, Morgan's mood dipped. "Sis," my expression dimmed. I saw through him at a glance. Morgan had done it on purpose. He wanted Taylor and me to break for good. Too bad this kind of presumptuous possessiveness only turns my stomach. Everyone on the call clearly heard Morgan's voice. Taylor's tone turned grave. "Quinn, we just got engaged and you're so eager to throw decency away. You can't even hide your boy toy." I didn't back down. A ceremony without exchanged rings doesn't count. And don't think I don't know. You ordered matching wedding bands for me and Avery. Seeing that ring on my own hand makes me sick. Taylor shrugged it off. "Our rings are custom. Yes, but Avery likes the design. As her elder, why must you nitpick? Before I could answer, Morgan fired back. In that case, Cameron, why don't you just marry Avery? Who knows? Maybe she's into you too. That enraged Taylor so much he denied it outright. Nonsense. Avery and I are family. Avery seized the moment to pour fuel on the fire. Uncle Adrian, don't be mad. I told you he's out there hooking up with random men, but you wouldn't believe me. Now it's confirmed. A woman this shameless and morally bankrupt doesn't deserve to enter our family. I offered no further explanation. I simply said, Mom, Dad, cut ties with the Camerons from now on. Taylor and I are finished. With that, I ended the call only to find Morgan looking triumphant. Sis, you're not even going to explain? I suspected the bullying he'd suffered as a kid had left him unhinged. This stunt felt like revenge against the one who'd helped him, and it repelled me. More than half a month passed. Taylor never contacted me again. My deal with Luna was sealed. Morgan still dogged my steps, and I kept my composure the entire time. Then one night, Morgan slipped into my room and laid his cards on the table. Quinn, I know about the project you've been discussing with my sister. I arched a brow. So he said, if you want a partnership with the Rivera family, there's no need for the runaround. Compared with Taylor, I'm the better marriage candidate. Like Luna, you love business. I can back you without reserve. I didn't hesitate. Then let's get married. Morgan froze, stunned by my bluntness. I continued, unruffled. Fly home with me tomorrow and re-register. Miss this window and it's gone. Your household registration book. Luna already couriered it to me. Morgan had never imagined it could be this effortless. He should have been elated, yet hesitation crept in. Are you serious? My expression didn't waver. Absolutely. Disappointment flickered across his face. You're treating marriage like a transaction. You don't love me at all. I didn't bother denying it. You yourself said you're a more suitable match than Taylor. You're chasing some fairy tale where the prince falls for Cinderella. Except the original Cinderella was an earl's disregarded youngest daughter. Take Luna. Do you honestly picture her suddenly falling for some penniless nobody and abandoning the company she's fought to build? You can afford to daydream about happiness because you've never worried where your next meal comes from. Someone else always shelters you. You claim you like me. Fine, I'll marry you. But life after the wedding will look much like it does now. Morgan opened his mouth and found no retort. I finished. The choice is yours. My flight is at 9 tomorrow. Come with me if you want the license. If not, your sister will send someone to fetch you. Close the door on your way out. Good night. I climbed into bed. Morgan left, his silhouette lonely in the doorway. 1 month later, I walked into the press conference for Sterling Group's IPO. Taylor rushed over the moment he heard backstage in my dressing room after clearing everyone out. He confronted me. Quinn, how is it I knew nothing about Sterling going public in your alliance with Luna's group? There wasn't even a rumor. I pressed my lipstick together, then looked at him with a half smile that wasn't quite a smile. Taylor, I'm no longer your fiancé. Who exactly are you to come storming in here and shout at me? But Taylor refused to see reason. Fury boiled over. He seized my arm. Quinn, I told you the engagement isn't cancelled. What dirty trick did you pull to dump the Camerons and climb a higher branch? Don't forget the Rileys are old family friends. How could you betray that trust? My voice turned glacial. Taylor, you spoiled Avery while she schemed and ruined deal after deal. What makes you think you have the right to blame me? A businessman puts profit first. The Camerons and I only had a verbal alliance. No contract chaining us together. And we broke it off long ago. While we faced off, Avery shoved the door open. Have you no conscience? Uncle Jing looks out for you everywhere. How could you treat him like this? I wrenched free of Taylor, rubbed my wrist, and slapped Avery across the face. Avery, I used to ignore you out of respect for the Rileys. That doesn't mean you can run wild and act like a brat in front of me. Taylor spun around to shield her, scolding me without hesitation. Quinn, you're the elder. How could you hurt Jeaning? I gave him a complimentary slap as well. Taylor, are you awake now? Avery was raised in your Cameron house. She's no relative of mine. Keep provoking me and I'll take you down with her. Bella arrived at the perfect moment and walked straight into the drama. Miranda, it's almost time. Morgan sent me to get you. Taylor snapped back to reality. Ellis. Avery thought she'd caught my weakness and gloated. Quinn, you really are keeping a boy toy behind Uncle Jing's back. And you dare parade him in public. I burst out laughing, pitying her stupidity. Morgan appeared at exactly the right instant, slipping his arm possessively through mine. Honey, you ready? Cousin and sis are waiting outside. Taylor, still stunned, watched us leave, jealousy blazing in his eyes. Later, when we announced our flash wedding and I broke off all business with the Camerons, the scandal tore through Rivermont's elite. Overnight, I became the ungrateful woman who'd abandoned the city's golden heir. The trending hashtag screamed my name. My phone flooded with hate. I didn't care. Morgan and I boarded his vintage sailboat at dawn, champagne splashing as we laughed at the skyline. Taylor kept calling. I let every ring die unanswered. The Camerons retaliated. Suppliers canceled. Investors vanished. Morgan simply shrugged. He sold 2 idle condos and bankrolled my startup. Sleek electric bikes for Latin America. We worked out of his loft, playlists echoing, greasy pizza boxes piling up. At night, we danced barefoot on the cool wooden floor. Headlights from the street painting gold stripes across the walls. Some evenings I caught him watching me, tenderness softening his grin, and my heartbeat forgot rhythm. One muggy afternoon, Avery marched in uninvited, waving a glossy magazine that sneered about my pathetic downfall. She expected tears, I offered coffee. Confused, she sipped, then eyed the half-assembled battery packs. You people actually build things? I smirked. While you staged photos, we built futures. Morgan leaned over, brushed an oil streak from my cheek and whispered, show her the Bogota pre-order numbers. I did. Avery's cup rattled against the saucer. Rumors claimed Taylor was hemorrhaging allies, pivoting his empire toward crypto to mask losses. He sent flowers, then legal letters. Finally, a midnight voicemail. Remember when we raced motorcycles down to the Cape? I still have your scarf. I deleted it yet fled. Morgan noticed the shadows under my eyes. Brewed cacao at 3 a.m. held me until birds sang. History can visit, he murmured, but it can't move in. Weeks later, the Camerons' annual gala arrived. Invitations arrived embossed with gold wax. Mine instructed I could observe, not exhibit. Translation. Come gravel. I wore gunmetal silk. Morgan in a charcoal suit cut lean. Cameras flashed like lightning as we stepped onto the red carpet. An exiled queen returning with a smirking sculptor prince. Taylor met us in the foyer, jaw tight. Quinn, auctions about charity. No stunts. I tilted my head. Darling, the biggest stunts here are your balance sheets. Inside, crystal chandeliers glittered above tables banked with white peonies. I floated through the crowd, collecting polite nods and icy glares. Morgan's hand steady at the small of my back. When Taylor took the stage to praise family legacy, the projector flickered, then displayed my startup's logo beside a bold headline. Purchase orders 300% up. Gasps rippled, cameras swiveled. I hadn't hacked anything. I'd simply supplied the auction catalog on the event's USB, and let curiosity do the rest. Morgan squeezed my fingers, whispering, mic drop, Captain. Security hustled toward us, but donors were already thumbing their phones, finding news stories, investment sites. My smiling face under bullish forecasts. Taylor gripped the microphone so hard feedback squealed. Quinn, you're crashing a fundraiser. I lifted my brow. I'm offering opportunity. Thought you'd appreciate value. A venture titan at table 6 raised his paddle. I'll back her expansion. 50 million. Murmurs became applause. The tide turned faster than Taylor could signal the tech booth. In the corridor outside the ballroom, Avery blocked me, fury wobbling her mascara. You humiliated him. I sighed. He humiliated himself by underestimating me. She raised her hand. I caught her wrist midair. Careful. Camera phones everywhere. Morgan stepped between us, voice silk over steel. Avery, you're 2 seconds from trending as the girl who swung first. She faltered. I walked on, heels silent on Persian runners. By midnight, the gala morphed into an impromptu pitch fest. Investors cornered me beside the champagne fountain. I traded business cards for promises of factory space in Monterey. Taylor finally found me alone on the marble balcony, city lights glittering below. He offered a shaky truce. Merge our firms. Save face together. Wind teased his hair, reminding me of beach rides years ago. I softened a moment, then remembered sleepless nights. Taylor, I'm done merging. Your ego cost you. My grip built me. His shoulders sagged inside. The violin swelled. Weeks later, headlines screamed again. Cameron's stock was battered board, ousting its crown prince. I read them over coffee in Morgan's sunlit kitchen, feeling strangely hollow. Victory tasted metallic. Morgan wrapped his arms around me, chin at the top of my head. Regrets? I exhaled. Lessons. My phone chimed. New photo. Taylor boarding a plane to Santiago alone. I typed good luck, then deleted it. Some rituals belong to silence. Turning, I kissed Morgan, slow and certain, tasting cinnamon and promise. One dawn, we launched the first container ship loaded with shiny cobalt bikes, horn echoing across the harbor. Seagulls wheeled overhead like messy confetti. I slipped my hand into his, whispering, ready for the next impossible thing. He grinned, wind whipping his hair. With you always. Behind us, the city shimmered. No longer a cage of old loyalties, but a launching ramp glittering with risk and light. Ours for the ride wherever the current chose to carry.